order, please rise to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pauline, please call roll.
Mr. Ambrose?
Present.
Ms. Belcastro? Here. Mr. Bloom?
Here.
Mr. King?
Here.
Mr. Mohan?
Here.
Mr. O'Neill?
Here.
Mr. Ross?
Here.
Dr. Eunice?
Here.
Mr. Zaritsky?
Here. Okay, as you know, there was a brief executive session held to discuss a personnel item. From that, we'll turn it over to Colleen for the oath of office as a school director for the newly elected board members. Colleen?
Okay, so Mr. Bloom, Mr. King, Mr. O'Neill, Mr. Ross, and Mr. Zaritsky, if you could stand, please. And you'll raise your right hand. Do you, Mr. Bloom, Mr. King, Mr. O'Neill, Mr. Ross, and Mr. Zaritsky, having been elected to the office of school director for the Central Valley School District, County of Beaver, and Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, solemnly swear that you will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth, and that you will discharge the duties of your office with fidelity? Congratulations. So if you could please sign your oath of office that's sitting in front of you, and then I will need that front page that you sign because it has to be notarized. The rest of that packet is yours. It's your certificate of election.
You'll also need your certificate of election. So we're going to need what you signed and your certificate of election, both of those things.
Code says certificate of election also is filed along with the oaths.
Okay.
You want to pass it this way? I'll pass it.
Technical, but
Okay.
All right. Moving on to item 3, public comment on agenda items. If there's any public comment on agenda items prior to speaking, please state your name, address for the record. Any public comment? All right. Under organizational items, the election of the officers shall be by the majority of those present and voting. Where no such majority is achieved on the first ballot, a second ballot shall be cast for the 2 candidates who receive the greatest number of votes. So, the temporary president has to be one of the holdover members, which would entitle to be Mr. Ambrose, Mr. Moad, Dr. Eunice, and Ms. Belcastro. So moving on to the election of a temporary president, I will now accept nominations for a temporary president.
Dr. Eunice.
Dr. Eunice, are there any further nominations? All right, seeing if there's any objections, we have the nomination closed. Dr. Eunice?
Thank you.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm holding time for it.
You're reelected.
I forgot my burger.
You're okay.
Yep, I'd like to have nominations for president.
I think Mr. Zaritsky and Ms. Belcastro have done a great job. I nominate to have them stay on if they're willing to do that, stay on as president and vice president.
Okay, are you guys willing to stay on as president and vice president?
you really need 2 motions. You need a motion for
All right,
president
I
and a
nominate
motion for vice
Mr.
Do
president.
you need a second for both?
No, you don't need a second on nominations. You need a second to close the nominations.
Okay, I nominate Mr. Zaritsky for president.
And you just need a resolution to close nominations.
May I have a resolution to close? Everybody in agreement with that? Is that okay? Yes? All right. So I guess our president and vice president will stay the same.
go for a separate resolution for vice president.
See, I blew already.
That was
I
my
don't mean to be technical, but the school code requires.
Well, that's why I have
two
an attorney next to me. I'm good. Okay.
Yeah, now the newly elected president, Mr. Zarisky, would come back up, ask for nominations. for
Dude,
vice
stay there
president.
just for this, just for now.
What's that?
Let's see it. I thought I was getting a certificate of presidential.
Thank you.
Here.
Thank you, Dr. Myers.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, members of the board.
Wow, how long was I president for? A whole minute?
I will now accept the nomination for vice president.
Ms. Belcastro.
Are there any further nominations? All right, seeing that there's no further objections or nominations, declare this closed. No action.
Congratulations, Don.
All right, moving on to D. We're looking to appoint Mr. Ross as the representative and Mr. Bloom as the alternative to the Beaver Valley Joint School Committee. These terms will expire on December 31st, 2020. That's who currently holds them. Looking for a motion on that. Mr. Ambrose, second. Ms. Belcastro, is there any discussion? Motion carries. E, to approve the ballots be cast for the 2020-2021 offers for the Beaver Valley Joint School Board and Beaver Valley Joint School Committee and Beaver County Career and Technology Center Joint School Board. So we ask that you please complete and sign the ballots in front of you and turn the ballots to Pauline.
Yes. But it's front and back. And you have to sign the back, please.
You can't print.
No.
We have to write something in here to can't. Sorry. The way it is.
You can leave, if you say you vote for them, then you just have to do that.
Only your minutes will reflect it.
Yes, yes, sir.
Just to make sure
Yes,
it's behind you,
absolutely.
once you see that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, on agenda items, board items, to adopt a calendar setting the day, place, and time for school board meetings, both work and study session, which is shown on attachment A. To designate the Beaver County Times as the newspaper of general circulation for legal advertisement. And number 3 is to approve to terminate the employment of employee 217 effective immediately. I'm looking for a motion on items 1 through 3. Mr. O'Neill, second. Mr. Moad, is there any discussion on items 1 through 3? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Business items, the following bills and reports will be submitted for approval. Under pay bills, number 1, we're going to confirm that the November 2019 general fund payment, the amount of $854,874.10, which is found in attachment B. Number 2 is to confirm the November 2019 cafeteria fund payment in the amount of $68,825.59, which is found in attachment C. Number 3 is to confirm the November 2019 construction fund payment in the amount of $240,742.03, which is found in attachment D. Under B, we're looking to approve the November 2019 Berkheimer report, which is found on attachment E, motion item 1. Mr. Bloom, second. Mr. O'Neill, any discussion?
Just a point of clarification, we're off by $3 because you said $854,874.10. So I just wanted to make sure we know.
As presented.
Good.
Thank you, Mr. O'Neill. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Under personnel items, to approve an FMLA request for a paraprofessional from December 16, 2019 through May 20th, 2020, and to approve an intermittent FMLA request for a paraprofessional from December 1st, 2019 through June 5th or 3rd? 5th, 2020. Looking for a motion on items 1 and 2. Ms. Belcastro, second Mr. King. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Finance items to approve Resolution 2019-9 authorizing proposed preliminary budget displays and advertising, which is found on attachment F. Motion on item 1. Mr. Ambrose, second Mr. Moad. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Dr. Perry, Superintendent comments.
I'd like to congratulate the board members that have been re-elected to their post, and I want to congratulate Ms. Belcastro and Mr. Zawitsky on your reappointment as president and vice president, and I appreciate your leadership that you've provided this district, as well as all of the board members, the leadership that you provided the students here in Central Valley. So congratulations to all of you.
Thank you. Any board member comments? I'd like to thank the board for giving me another run here at President. Thank you. Any other board member comments?
I should say thank you too.
I didn't want to speak for you. Okay, public comments. Any public comments? Prior to speaking, please state your name and address for the record.